Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hey Man. I am Josh Wolf,
I am Jacob Wolf.
and this is Hey Man. Hey Man,
Hey,
you in
hey
Panama,
man, what's
man.
up? I am in Panama, man.
Um,
Out here
First of
trying to
all,
survive these fucking bugs.
yeah, how bad is it? Tell me how many bug bites you got on your body right now?
I got at least 40 right now. It's a new record for me.
Have you ever got a bug bite in a terrible spot?
I have two directly behind my knee on my right leg.
Mm.
Um,
I've had somebody get a flea bite on their pee hole before. I know somebody who got a flea bite on their pee hole.
it sounds terrible. I got bit on my lip a couple days ago, like last week.
Can I tell you a terribly uncomfortable story? Not for me.
I don't really think I have a choice at this point, but sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the right to say no to that. So I mean, you might as well just tell it.
Here's a glimpse into your uncomfortable childhood.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, you probably. I mean, I don't even know why I asked. I've never asked before.
And not a single time have you asked if I was like, okay, hearing a story. You were like, all right, you want to hear something? I'd be like, sure. And then you wouldn't even prepare me for what was coming. And I would just have to deal with whatever that story was.
I don't know if I should say I'm sorry or you're welcome.
Neither?
It's in there. It's in that ballpark of I'm sorry and you're welcome. I mean, I'm sorry because I probably told you some stories you probably didn't need to hear, but you're welcome because, your childhood wasn't boring.
That's true.
So my college girlfriend, we were at my fraternity's like semi-formal or something, or some sort of party. Oh, it was called
Right.
Gangster Party. So we dressed up as old 1940s gangsters.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like zoot suits
Yep.
and we went outside in Texas. We were both drunk. We went outside to roll around. And the only place to roll around was on the ground. And I unfortunately put her down on top of a red ant. Yeah. One of the, what do you call them? Holes? Red ant hole?
Hills.
Hills? Yeah, it's not a hole.
It's an ant hill.
Yeah, it's not an ant hole. An ant
Well, I mean,
hole.
there's a hole in the hill where they come in and come out.
Yeah, but you don't call it an ant hole. Do you?
No, that sounds like you're trying to say asshole, but can't pronounce it.
Yeah. Nobody's like, hey, there's an ant hole. You say ant hill. Ant hill, right?
Yeah.
That's
Or
like,
nest.
But you know what? No, you don't say ant nest.
Or like there's a nest of them over there. Like what would you call where they are inside?
A nest? Ant nest?
Well, because look, like, it looks like a hill from the outside, right? But on the inside, there's like a copious amount of tunnels in which they go through, right?
Yeah, but I don't think
carved it all out.
I don't think they're tunnel. Is it a nest? Maybe an ant hole.
No, the outside of it is an ant hill.
Yeah, ant hill.
The inside is a nest.
No, I'm with that. No, the inside's not a nest. Ant nest. Have you ever heard of something called
No, you
ant
don't
nest?
call it an ant nest. You just say it's an ant hill, but obviously it's just kind of implied that there are a plethora of ants inside with the queen ant, aka the nest.
Henceforth, you sound like Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting. Henceforth and therefore
and therefore, however,
and furthermore, so yeah.
That sounds super uncomfortable.
Yeah, man, it definitely is.
There's a bunch of those out here.
Oh, so she laid down and got some bites on some horrible places.
Parts.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I believe she has a scar near one of those spots. Yeah, man.
How?
Yeah, because those ant bites are no joke.
I thought this was going to be a tick story, and I'm actually kind of glad it wasn't a tick story.
Yeah, no tick. You know what? Like, yeah, I would be so bummed out. I know this sounds like the dumbest thing ever, but I would be so bummed out to get Lyme's disease. Just because you're like, wait, that little fucking thing ruined my life for 4 years. Oh, yeah. I'd be so mad.
And they're just gross.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, so you know what I thought we would do today, dude?
Hmm.
And by the way, your mom and I, did you see the pictures of us from the ACMs?
The ones you guys posted, I saw those
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think about now your mom obviously always looks like just a 10. I mean, your mom
Right.
is like, and the dress she had on, like it's crazy how it doesn't seem to age and always looks immaculate.
You can say your wife is hot, right? Like you can say that out loud.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't have to
yeah.
feel uncomfortable saying. Okay.
I'm not
Because
uncomfortable,
I
but
feel like you always beat her. feel like you always beat around the bush and try to say all like the things of.
I'm trying
You
to
know
say
what?
the
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I mean, the fact that she's hot is obvious. How uncomfortable was it, by the way, for you growing up having a hot mom? Like, did your friends say shit?
Okay, hold on. You know what's funny? I was telling this the other day to somebody because they were like, well, "What does your dad look like?" We were talking about your comedy because the only hat that I wear out here is your High Life hat,
Thank you.
and so Josh Wolf's international, baby. You know what I'm saying? And so Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I
And
mean,
so
at least
I was
Canada.
talking, yeah, and Australia, New Zealand,
Oh
you're in
yeah,
the
yeah.
UK.
I'm around.
We get messages from all around the world, man.
It's pretty
Switzerland,
crazy. You
Sweden.
got recognized in Panama, huh?
I got recognized in Panama, which was strange.
It
But
is.
anyways, so I was showing somebody a picture of you and a picture of mom, and she was like, why are your parents both hot? And I was like, imagine that growing up and going to school, every time your mom came into school, your dude friends were like, oh, I want to fuck your mom. And then every time your dad came into school, all the girls were like, hey, I want to fuck your dad. And I was like, hey, could you guys not want to fuck my parents? Could we
Yeah.
just chill out on that for a
Hey.
little bit? Like,
And the better question,
can we
who wants
just
to you were like, who wants to fuck me? Like,
yeah, I'm the best of both worlds. What's the fucking deal? Why am I still getting fucking stuffed in trash cans and shit? Like, what the fuck?
Stuffed in trash cans.
Nah, that was just for the sake of the joke. I was hoping you weren't going to say anything after, but you ruined it.
Yeah. Did you ever have to say to any of your friends about your mom, hey, fucking walk it back a couple steps?
I just started ignoring people after a little bit because I knew there was no escape from it.
Yeah.
She's like LeBron. She ages like fine wine. I knew there was no fucking escaping what I was doing. Like there was no way I was gonna run out of that world. So I was just like, yeah, sure, cool.
What a great analogy. Just like LeBron. Like it just
Or actually, I got a better one for me would be Cristiano Ronaldo because that man
or Brady.
Nah, but like Cristiano Ronaldo is like top tier.
She never falls off the cliff.
No, there's a ledge for most people. There are some people who just never hit that ledge.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Okay. I know you're going to put somebody on blast. And we're going to get some emails, everybody. We're going to do this. We're going to answer a bunch of your emails. Who you have that same thing, the underarm sweat that I have.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. I think I figured out what it is. It's our adrenals.
Oh, well, I also had to turn my AC off because the sound would fuck that up.
Got it. Who would you say, and you can go first name, so you don't have to put them on blast last name. Who was the most egregious? Who was the biggest fan of the way your mom looked in high school?
I got to be honest. Anybody who really came over to the house and who was over at the house a lot never really said anything because they knew the deal. Like they knew it. I knew it. I knew that they knew it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those like silent things where you just kind of, you just shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, there was at one point as a kid, I'm not friends with anymore. He was like, I'm not going to say it. And I was like, I'm going to say this first. I was like, Tyler, you should just say it so that because I know you will feel better after it or worse. I'm not really sure which one's going to go for you. And he just screamed it. And I was like, you feel better? And he was like, no, still thinking about it. And I was like, all right, you can go home.
Yeah. Did anyone ever sing Jacob's mom has got it going on?
You know, now that I think about it, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that really ever came about, in all honesty.
Wow. I thought that was going to be one for sure.
Yeah, me too. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I don't think that ever happened.
All right.
All right.
And yeah, man, I feel like you handled that pretty well. You've handled a lot of things as a young person that most people your age didn't have to.
I
You
was
know,
I was
with
I was raised differently. I was
what
also just raised around different things.
well, your parents were in the public eye, and you know, you much like so I remember seeing some movies in a movie theater that I probably excuse me, probably shouldn't. But your mom and I both felt the same way like when we were raising like you went to the theater and saw Tropic Thunder and we couldn't find any of your friends whose parents would let them come see Tropic Thunder with you. Just Jack. I'm not gonna say last name.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was it, you know? But yeah, you were raised a
They
little
didn't. They didn't.
different.
They didn't think it was a good parenting move. I thought it was great because watching fucking Matthew McConaughey super speed run out of that jungle is the best thing of all time. I brought that up the other day, and somebody was like, for the longest time, I always thought I was seeing things, and I go, "Nah, man, he ran out of that bitch like Sonic, like
Yo. Well, you and
so good."
I and your mom and Jack, that opening 10 minutes of Tropic Thunder, we're laughing like hyenas in like
Yeah,
the second row of that movie, just dying laughing.
that movie. That movie is super funny.
Yeah.
Excuse
All
me.
right, listen, man, let's answer some emails. And so everybody listening and
Okay.
watching, um, it's the email is heymanpod, man with three A's at gmail.com. And I think once a month, we'll probably answer your emails. Is there anything else you want to talk about, by the way, before we move on?
Not that I can think of.
Are you sure?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, my birthday's next week, but that
You're
we'll,
going to be
we'll get to that next week.
fucking 25. I can't wrap my brain around
Yep.
this. Give me 25.
You're
I mean, buddy, yeah, it's such
whole lot of yee, not a lot of ha.
but just so you know, 25 you're still a time of life to enjoy yourself. I know at 25, you feel like I need to grow up right now, but I'm just
No,
telling you,
I need to start the process of growing up. I don't need to grow up right away, but I
but
need
you
to
have,
implement some
man,
things.
Jacob.
Yeah, but then there's always room for improvement every year. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? There's
Yes.
always room to get better every year.
Yes.
So that's just the mindset. It's not that I think that I have to grow up right away. I think I'm gonna be like you, and by the time I hit 50, I'm still gonna be a 5-year-old on the inside, which is great and all that, but you have also every year still improved and worked on things
I
while
do try to
keeping that
work on
same
myself. Yes.
while keeping that same
Can,
childlike energy.
well, youthful, I'll say. I said, but
Child,
childlike, yeah.
child,
But
childlike.
you know what's funny, buddy, is that like so the idea that here's the thing I think most grown-ups do, which I think is too bad, is lose your sense of play, which doesn't mean you have to be a child or juvenile or light your farts on fire, although that is really funny. It's about, you're like, I'm a grown up now. I just head down. These are my responsibilities. But life is fun, man. And you
Yeah.
still have to have fun. And I think it's so important. And people who get fun out of their life, it's a bummer for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You only get one trip on this floating rock, so
That's right. Now I have to ask you something before we go any further. This is more of concern as a father, but I don't know how else to do this except that we're on. Will you lift up your arm for me? Do you have a rash under your arms, or is it just a
no.
shadow?
So this, I actually got sunburnt right here,
Uh huh.
and so it's just darker than everything else because
Okay.
it turned into a tan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure
this
that.
This is just a tan. I promise.
Okay. I just wanted to, especially for people who I didn't know if it was a shadow, but I knew somebody would ask when they got, why is Jacob's underarm?
Yeah, no, it's a tan. I got the same one here. I got cooked like bacon on my fucking armpits. So
How do you get
just
burnt on your armpits, dude? You fell asleep because you used to sleep. Your mom and I used to love it. When you were a kid.
Well, no,
you,
I didn't get burnt here. I just got burnt on the outside. So like I was just laying out all day, and it just happened to it just cooked me.
Dude, my favorite thing when you were a kid, baby, like probably ages 2 to maybe 8, you slept luxuriously. We'd walk in, dude. Yo, it was my fucking favorite, man. We'd walk in and you were sleeping, but like leaning back, like, yeah, I'm on vacation. Just leaning like you had too many fucking pina coladas and you just fell asleep in your chair like that. That was
What's funny
so
is
good.
like it's one of the most uncomfortable sleeping positions now. Like I never
Yeah.
it's so uncomfortable
Well,
sleeping
no,
with
you
my
can't
arms
sleep
above
like
my head.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, why would you sleep like that? But you were rocking it, man. Yeah, I loved it.
Strange.
All right, let's get to these emails so we can get moving here. So we'll start at the very first one from, let me think. Samantha Peterson. Samantha says, "Hey man, hey, my name is Samantha. You guys are amazing. I really love value and find your podcast episodes amazing and informative. There's a lot to think about when you ponder someone else's thoughts." Okay. This is just a hello and thank you. Thank you, Samantha. I probably
Hi,
should have
Samantha.
read that. All right. Here's a good question. Grateful Bear says, "What is the deal with your son creating so many bits for you and somehow making his own way in this too? My kids love your comedy and I enjoy your podcast a lot." All right. Well, let me ask you something, man. Off of this question, because when he says creating bits, it's really
It's
just
not intentional.
So my question is off of this one. Growing up, were you ever like, I probably shouldn't do that because he's going to get a bit out of this? Or did it ever enter your mind on a day-to-day basis? And at what point did you become okay with the bits?
It never crossed my mind that you would make it into a bit. Like I just never even thought about it that way. I was just being a teenager. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was just kind of just running around and living life and doing whatever, doing whatever I was doing. So there was never even a thought behind it of, oh, he might turn this into a bit. I mean, also, even if you did, I think there was a subconscious part of me that was like, yeah, whatever. We'll work that out later.
You also knew that I was never making it a bit until I ran it by you at least one time.
Right, exactly. That was that too. And when I became okay with the bits, I mean, I've told the story a couple times, but like there was one story that the iCloud picture.
Yeah.
I hated that story because it was embarrassing. And I was still like, I think in my senior year of high school at that point, or like maybe a little after it. I can't remember.
Maybe before. You mean the story you're about to tell?
Yeah.
A little before junior year, probably.
No, wait, no, because wait.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so anyways.
How old were you when we did the roast? Were you still in high school or no? No, you were past
the roast. No, I was past high school.
You're past high school.
I was probably 19 when the roast happened.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, we're talking about the roast of David Ortiz, everybody.
Yeah. And so, the iCloud story was not my favorite story of all time. A little embarrassing. Totally understandable. But then the first time I met my sports idol, David Ortiz, he laughed about it with me. He said that joke's super funny. It makes him laugh. It's his favorite joke. And then we proceeded to go have dinner and have a drink and, like still be treated like a regular person. And it was never brought up once after that. So for me, it was more like a realization of, like if my idol can look down or can look past it after we just laughed about it and just continue to move on, then I can probably eat it and I'll be fine with it. And I just told you, I was like, yeah, you're good. You could tell whatever you want. Like if Poppy likes it, we're good.
For me, this is a great life lesson. It's a great life lesson. Everybody listening. It's a great life lesson in perception, in that your perception is what your reality is. But the truth of the matter is that like people, when you're embarrassed about something, the honest truth is most people don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck what you're embarrassed about. You're making it up. And what this just shows you is within 5 seconds, his perception of reality changed, which was, this is so embarrassing, everybody makes fun of me, to, oh, I'm good. It was his brain just making things up. So I think, to me, it's a great lesson in that, like, being embarrassed isn't a real thing. It's something you make up as to how you perceive other people are seeing you. It's a crazy lesson, dude, but a great one to learn.
Yeah, and a cool way to learn it too.
Yeah, the coolest, man, because Poppy's that's
hey, Poppy.
Hey, Poppy. All right, here we go. Here's a good one from Julia Cicero. When and how did you both find out about the other smoking weed? Also, what was the reaction you both had to finding out the other smoking weed? P.S. You guys are amazing. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, Julie, I think we got a warmer light, but there we go. Okay, here we go. So let me go first.
Okay.
About when I found out that you smoked.
Mm-hmm.
We were walking our dog, Little Rock, and it was nighttime, and you said, hey, I want to tell you something. And I said, all right. And you said, I smoke weed. How old are you? 16?
Probably, because I'd been smoking since freshman year, but I didn't tell you until I was 16. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Do we have to talk about this now? I'm pretty high. And let's talk about it later. And that's when I found out you smoke weed, man. So that was a weird, like, on the walk high. It was just hard for me to, and I assume that you had figured it out before then because of my lifestyle. But when did you find out?
No. My story is the same story.
What?
Yep.
That's when you found out, on the same night?
My story is the same story. Yep.
Wait, I had hit it up until that point, or you had just not noticed?
I didn't notice.
Was I not telling weed stories on stage yet by that time? Maybe not.
I mean, you had told. I know the only thing at that point in time on YouTube was the medical blueberry muffin story.
Right.
But there was never any presence of it in the house, or so I thought.
Right.
Or at least no presence in the house from your end. It was always in the house because of me. But
it was everywhere. It was in my room too, man. What age did you?
I know that now.
Well, what age did you start snooping? I still can't believe that's when you found out. What were you thinking? Were you like, huh? That explains the candy drawer. Like what?
Well, no, because I thought the candy drawer was for me.
Right. What was your initial reaction when you found out that I smoked weed?
I was a little stunned, but then I started to think about things. If you remember, we were a little silent after that. We were just walking for a cool minute.
Yeah.
I was running through all my heads and I was connecting dots, and I was like, oh, the fucking candy drawer. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, him with the watermelon and tahini in his bed every night. This, that. And I was just connecting dots, and I was like, son of a bitch. I could have done this way earlier.
No, you couldn't have. I wouldn't have let you do that.
Yeah.
You know, what was interesting, people have asked me about this too. I remember telling you, hey, I don't approve of you smoking weed. I don't think people should be smoking weed this early. It affects your brain. But I also remember telling your mom, I would rather have him. I don't want him smoking or drinking, but I would rather have him smoking than drinking because I feel it feels safer. I'm less worried.
Way safer.
I'm just less worried. You look, man, I obviously don't want any 16-year-old smoking weed. It's just too young for your brain. But if you're picking one of the two, for me, weed. But
for me as well.
All right. Well, this is a good. I don't remember what I was going to ask you on follow up, but that was a good question. I can't believe that's when you found out.
No, that's definitely when I found out.
God. And now, what age did you start snooping around mine in your mom's room?
I think the following year.
But you only snooped on my side. You didn't look in her side, huh?
Forbidden drawers. I don't want to go on her side.
Yeah, it's probably smart, dude. I mean, not that there's anything crazy in your mom's drawers, but if you probably shouldn't. It's not the spot to be.
Forbidden drawers.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Now, did you go through the side table drawers in mine and my closet, or just the side table drawers?
Just the side table drawers. I never went in the closet.
Oh, I was smart then.
What was in the closet?
I would just put things I really didn't want you to find in like pant pockets in my closet, or like jacket pockets.
That's way too much for me. I'm not going through your fucking clothes to
I
look for
know,
something.
man. I figured that out.
That's
You know how
too much effort.
You know how I figured that out? Honestly, I was like, where didn't I look when I was a kid? And I didn't go through my parents' clothes. So if I really didn't want you finding something, I would put it in a jacket pocket or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
too
that.
much effort. But also, it's more room for error. Like if I was in there and accidentally knocked something over but didn't see it, and then you saw something had been knocked over, and then you remember you hid something in that jacket, I was automatically screwed.
What? Yeah, dude,
You
but
know
I
what
didn't. I didn't. I wasn't.
do you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, but I wasn't doing forensic science in the room. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't notice if
No,
something was
but
out of place.
no, but if the jacket you hid some weed in
Oh, yes.
happened to be on the floor,
Yes. Yeah.
and there was no weed in said pocket, I would
Yes.
be shit out of luck.
Yes.
So
Pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. All right.
yeah,
Good
it's just a
question.
lot of effort. It's a lot
Good
of effort.
question, Julie. Thank you so much. Let me see this. Whoa. Okay, so guys, these are questions, some questions that Jacob and I aren't going to answer. Look, and we love you, but this is not, I'm not Dr. Drew. I'm not qualified to, if you're sending me questions, questions about abuse and things like that, and how to get out of abusive relationships or anything like that feels like real, we can both give you father-son relationship, but anything about like, or like how to get along and things like that, or funny stuff, but anything that bumps up against you having like legal issues, we're not going to get into. Like
Absolutely not.
We're not qualified to give you that advice. And thank you so much for reaching out to us about it, but reach out to a therapist or the police professional. Neither one of us want to be responsible. I know some people on their pods will give relationship to anybody. If yours is a serious question, not like how do I get along with my parents or my kids are assholes, how do we get along? Like things like that we can get into. It leans on the more serious side, but serious where your health is in question. We're not trained to do that.
Not qualified whatsoever.
Right. So I just had to okay, buddy, this is a little heavier. Do you want to get into anything about losing friends?
We can.
Okay. Because I know you had mentioned it. This is from Michelle. She said, I wanted to write in and say I'm loving the new podcast. Father-son relationship is so incredibly heartwarming. I wanted to comment on episode 9. I listened intently as Jake spoke of losing some friends during COVID lockdown and closing chapters. It hit really hard. I recently lost my best friend of 34 years. She decided not to continue on with our friendship we've had since we were 9. Holy shit. Jesus. No real reason or explanation, just over. Having closed that chapter is so very painful. I'm still very much struggling with a loss for so many reasons. Having lost pretty much all my family, she was my one true constant that is now gone as well. When Jacob said they chose not to make the effort and shows a true color that may have been there the whole time, I completely connected with this because even though it still hurts, her true colors came out and I finally get to see them. I know they were there all along, but I guess I didn't see them. All this to say, keep up the great work. A simple sidebar conversation like that one can make a world of difference for someone listening. I'm not sure how to get through the pain, and I know time will heal all wounds. Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Well, first of all, my condolences. It's never easy losing a friend, whether it's a friend of a year, a friend of a couple of months, a friend of 34 years. I couldn't even imagine.
She didn't lose as in passed away.
Right. No, but at the COVID lockdown,
yep.
I lost friends of mine who I've known since middle school, including my ex, who was one of my best friends through middle school and through high school. Like you said, time will heal all wounds, and it should be more of a cool realization to see another door open as one closes. So take this as an opportunity to go explore yourself a little more, because I feel like you can always learn about yourself no matter what age you are. Go explore a little more, try something different, find something you really want to do and find passion and solace in something that you love, and you will find another friend. And it's not even another friend, and it's everybody's got a couple friends, everybody's got a friend, and losing your best friend is always the hardest. But it's the true colors, like I said, were always there. So it's something that, in all honesty, in hindsight, you should kind of be thankful for that it happened now and not however so many years down the line when you need something from them and you need a friend and you need somebody to have your back and then they don't. That's what kills the most.
So what I would say is 34 years, childhood friend, very difficult. And so sorry that happened to you. A couple of things. One, as I've gotten older, one of the things that I've really realized is a couple of things. One, your life has chapters and relationships are in those chapters. And the other person is also living their book, right?
As well, right.
Sometimes you can't figure out why. There are two people in this relationship, right? Sometimes in your life, somebody's in one chapter or two chapters or three chapters, and they're just not in the other ones. And that's life. Like some people are left in chapters, and emotionally and mentally, you have to close a chapter or else you're stuck there forever. I'm sure we all know people who are stuck in high school. When you go back, that's all they can talk about. That's all. Emotionally, mentally, they never left high school. They never closed that chapter, right? So their relationships are stuck there. Mentally, they're stuck there. Like they're stuck there. The other thing that I've realized as I've gotten older is that you can't control nor worry about how other people are receiving you or what life decisions they're making. And the decisions they make in their life have nothing to do with you. Now, if you want to take them personally, look, hey, and is this Michelle? Is that right? Hey, Michelle. Yes. I'm sure there are people in your life who at some point you knew and you just stopped returning a text, or maybe they called one last time and you didn't call them back and you never heard back from them. Now, I'm not saying this is the 34 years, but in your lifetime, that's happened to you where life has just happened. And for whatever reason, you're like, yeah, that person's. And if that person that you kind of eventually just didn't want to talk to got mad at you, you'd be like, yeah, I get it, but I've just changed and my life has just changed and you're not in my life anymore. No, and by the way, no offense, I don't hate you, right? This has happened to all of us. It's just not there. But when it happens to you, it feels real personal.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, I totally get it. 34 years seems like a weird drop for no reason. And my feelings would be hurt too. But understand that that person is living their life and making decisions for what they think is best for their life. And
everybody's on their own chapter of their book.
Yeah. So now you have to do the same.
Not every chapter is the same for everybody. You're on chapter 40. They're on chapter 35. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone's doing something different. Everybody's life path is always different. And all you can do is, wish them the best. And I know you still got love for them. And that's all you can do is hope they do well. And who knows, maybe sometime in the future, they come back around and say, hey, sorry, I miss you. Or maybe they don't, but you know what? That's life.
Yeah. All right. Next question. And Michelle, thank you for sending that in. Next question is a bummer for me because I just got an answer that I don't like. This is from Doug Hicks. Who was right about where Jake was bitten by a snake and what was the bet? Okay. So for those of you who aren't privy and didn't hear that pod, Jacob got bit by a snake that we bought for him when he was a kid. I say and still say that it happened when we were on Bellingham. He says it happened when you were on Laurelwood. We just asked your mom. What did she say?
No. Why don't you tell me what she said?
She said it happened on Laurelwood where you said, but there's no way.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
the one who I'm the one who pulled the snake. I pulled the snake. I know where it happened.
I got bit by it.
You were 4. What do you know? I was there.
More than you.
That is embarrassing for me. I just want to say this. So you're telling me the place where you tried to sleep with the snake was in Laurelwood and not in Bellingham?
Yes.
Nah, dog.
You
Not
wrong, bro.
that's a no for me, dog.
Well, it's yes for me, dog, because I'm going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yo, that is terrible. Now, did we ever make a bet? Because technically, even though your mom and you are both wrong, which is weird that you're both wrong.
You want to tell mom that she's wrong?
No,
Yep.
but I'm
Somebody
saying it
clip
here.
it.
I'm saying it here.
Okay.
She's never gonna watch
So-
this, so she's wrong. Like she's
I'm
always
gonna,
wrong.
have somebody clip it, and I'm gonna post this clip.
Let me
and
tell you
I'm going
something
to
right now.
blast you on the internet.
You better not, because
Yeah.
you know. But I'm telling you right now, she's not listening. You're wrong.
I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text her right now.
Don't you dare. Don't. Hey, I will turn this off. I will turn this car around. I never said
Dad.
that. I don't think I ever said that.
Dad, no, you never did, because you just laughed at us arguing in the background. Dad
Yeah.
says you are wrong about the snake bite.
Are you? Wait a second. Wait a second. Right now, are you right now ratting me out? You.
Say you're wrong.
Were you gonna press send unless I say I'm wrong?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell your mom I'm talking shit about her on the podcast unless I say I'm wrong?
Absolutely.
Wow, this is quite a good leverage you have here. Good one, dude. So let me weigh these. Let me weigh this, okay?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Why don't you weigh it? Because one's way easier than the other. You just got too much pride.
So one, I have to admit to you that I'm wrong, right? And then we just go about our lives. And then
Yeah.
I probably just have to eat it every now and then. You'll just say something. Is that probably right?
It's not even something I'm going to bring up. Like I knew I was right. It's never anything I had to bring up. I knew I was right, just like I knew I was right when I didn't order the porn.
You ordered the porn, dude.
I didn't order the porn.
All right. So this is another problem. If I admit to this, because I'm not wrong, but I don't want that text to be sent either. This is a really interesting quandary you have me in. Predicament. Let me can I think on it for a minute?
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it right here and just lock my phone and not even delete the text.
How long do I have?
Just know if you don't say it by the end of the podcast, I'm FaceTiming her.
On the pod?
Oh, that would be great too. No, I was just going to FaceTime her after.
And what are you going to tell her? What's going on in this FaceTime?
I'm going to tell her that you were blasting on the podcast, that she was wrong, and that she was undoubtedly wrong about the snake bite. You really gonna question her memory?
No, but that. All right, let's get to another question.
All right, you got till the end of the podcast. The clock is ticking.
What was the bet? Do we know?
I don't know. All I want to hear is you say you were wrong, and I'm good with that.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Laura asks, howdy, I have a couple of questions. What is the most proudest moment in each other's lives? Jacob was proud of his dad, Josh, and vice versa. And what's the funniest, oddest, weirdest thing that has happened to you while high? Well, let's answer that first one. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I mean, I can go first. I mean, probably for me was Josh Wolf's show. Just watching you get to live out your dream for the time that we had there was awesome. Should have been longer.
Yeah.
But it was quite a wonderful 6 weeks.
Man, and thank you. Mine, there are so many, and they all revolve around the same feeling. So I'll just give you one. I'll just give you one and then explain it. You know, you were 12 probably. What was the last year you played at Beeman? Baseball? 12?
Yeah, because I ended up playing Toluca Lakemore last year.
So, but Sherman Oaks was when you were 12 or 13? But it doesn't matter. You were either 11 or 12 and playing baseball. Mm-hmm. You were the best player on the team. So there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that in a weird way, especially if the coach, in my mind, holds that best player accountable, which I always held you accountable.
Every season.
So there you were pitching, and there was a kid in the field who made 2 errors in an inning and felt terrible and was crying on his way out off the field after you got out of the inning. And you ran out to his position before running off the field, and they scored runs because he was making errors and not playing well. And he was crying, and you put your arm around him and walked with him back into the dugout. You ran out, so you had to run out to him and walked with him in with your arm around him. And to me, I was just like, yeah, that's this dude.
I don't even remember that.
This dude is somebody who the compassion, realizing that as the best and the leader on the team, this is your job. This was part of what comes with the responsibility, and that the instinct that you had as a 12-year-old to lift other people up. It's why you're such a good teammate and you're so good on a team. And you're a good leader because of that reason. You want everybody up on the same level, and you weren't going to let him think that he was less than, or he didn't deserve to be on the field, or it was his fault. And you also realize that once somebody's gone like that, they're gone forever. And you're only as strong as the weakest part of your team. And you were not going to let this person, even though they weren't good and they knew they weren't good and their parents knew they weren't good and everybody on the teams knew they weren't good, you weren't going to let them feel like they were less than. And so for me, man, that speaks volumes about who you are and were and continue to be. And so for me, that was it for me.
It's a good story. What team was that?
That was the team that beat that Dodgers team that we shouldn't have beat.
The Padres.
Yeah. Is that what that was? The Padres?
Yeah, because that was the only team and only season I ever hit a home run over the fence.
Yeah. That was a team of you and then just a bunch of other kids.
Basically. Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And we were beating people we shouldn't have beat.
Oh, but no. It wasn't the Padres, because that Dodgers team was coached by David Berman.
Yeah. Okay, let's just not give first and last names on this podcast. Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah. And so yes, it was. But I don't know what team we were. We might have been the Red Sox, dude.
I think we were the Angels, actually.
Oh, it might have been. But it was the Angels, but it was just you and a bunch of other kids, basically.
Right.
All right. Let's get into one more question, shall we?
Yep. Are we answering that? Are we answering the second part of that question?
What was the second part?
What's the strangest thing you've seen while high? I can't really think of strange things.
Let's do this. If we're going to do one more weed question, let's do this one. Okay.
Okay.
Megan Farrell. I was listening to a bunch of your podcast episodes and was thinking, why not create a strain of weed called Lincannabis, like a Lincoln being a type of werewolf and all. You can market it as stronger, more powerful high, and then make a weaker CBD version. Personally, I like the idea of Wolfsbane CBD gummies. I like Wolfsbane name. Okay. So thank you, Megan. So have we talked about, I forget, did we talk about a name for a weed strain on this podcast before?
No.
Okay. I like the idea of a Heyman weed.
Yeah, I do too. I don't mind the Heyman as the weed strain.
Yeah. Now, your mom had an idea of a CBD called Wild Wolf, but wild with a Y.
There's already a company called Wild with a Y. That doesn't do CBD, but they do make gummies.
Well, why don't we do this? So right now, guys, for those of you listening, we got somebody making a theme song. We're still looking for artwork, but also names, because your mom, I don't know if you found this, we could get a CBD going with our namesake tomorrow. So what was the one name that you and I had talked about for CBD that we kind of both liked? Night? man, night man, night man.
Oh yeah, Nightman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
would put good night, G apostrophe, or is it just night man? Good night, man. Hey man, good night, man. Like hey man's the weed and good night man's the CBD.
Yeah. It's a good
What
idea.
do you think about
I like
that?
that. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Hey man weed, which is like a sativa,
hmm
and night man CBD, which puts you to sleep.
Well, I feel like the hey man, like, because the vibe when you say hey man is more like a chill. I would say more like a hybrid than a sativa.
Okay. You know I'm on board for that. What do you think?
I'm down.
Hey man,
Who do we talk to?
I'll figure it out.
Sweet.
I'll figure it out. All right. Well, listen, dude, I know that you got to get to work,
I got,
and I guess
I
on my
got
day.
work in an hour.
Yeah. But listen, everybody, we've really the support's crazy. The amount of the comments on the clips are great. Do us a favor. Now is the time to start sharing this. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your kids. Listen, parents and kids, you guys should be listening to this together. And
Facts.
Jacob and I will be touring around. So we would love to see you guys out at a show when he comes back from Panama. And have you listened to the Van Halen song called Panama about
I
America?
was right. It was Van Halen. Somebody said that the other day, and I was like, I think that's a Van Halen song.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know your
Fuck yeah.
music, man. You've been schooled.
Thank God.
All right. And so, yeah, dude, guys, if you can, please, 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 please. We obviously do these for free. I don't want to put this behind a paywall. I don't want to Patreon it. I don't want to Rockfin this. I want this to stay, but we're just asking for you guys to do your help. And I'm not even asking you guys to buy a product. I'm asking you to take 2 minutes of your time to go to iTunes and rate and subscribe to the podcast and leave a comment. It just helps us immeasurably, guys. So thank you all so much. ComedianJoshWolf.com for tour dates this week, even though you might be too late for it. I'm going to be in Atlanta, but I'm coming around, dude, guys. I'm touring so much. The shows have been amazing. I didn't even tell you about that $900 I won on a slot machine in Jackpot, Nevada. So
Crazy.
What do you want to say?
It's Jake Wolf on TikTok, Jake_Wolf on Instagram, a youthful wolf on Twitch. I'm going to hopefully try and get back to that when I get back into the country. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for the support. It's what?
One other thing I want to say, the Heyman email, which is Heyman 3 A's pod, heymanpod@gmail.com. Send in questions that we'll answer, but also Jacob and I are going to start when he comes back. We're going to be doing TikTok competitions. So find some things that we're going to split screen them. What's it called? Duet or duel or
Duet. Yeah.
And so competitions, whether it's throwing paper in a tiny little garbage can, whether it's who can eat something fastest, whatever competition you want to see.
We're
us
not
compete.
doing an eating competition because you can inhale things with your mouth.
We'll just listen to what the people want. And don't say that. That sounds dirty. All right, man. I love you.
So I said it. Love you too. Later, guys.
Later.
Thank you for the phone call. It doesn't matter if it's not ringing off the wall. Going where we gotta go. The hoops are in this